Hi, y'all. Tonight we sitting down to the dinner table and we making plans. Yep, we making plans. We sit down to the kitchen table and now we making these plans. We sitting down at my auntie table, you know, talking about what most black folks talk about when it come time for a funeral. After you done did everything, you planning for the food. So then we get somebody come over. This was my uncle's ex-wife and her daughter. They came over and they talked about what they was gonna bring to the repast. I think I'm saying that right. But when you get together, when somebody done passed away, you start talking about, things what happened in the past, this, and this. And so they made all the plans that they was gonna make and they stepped outside. And we continued the conversation that we was having after, they left. And nobody paid attention because we was just talking as a family laughing and stuff. Well, the auntie and her daughter went and stood outside the window and they listened to the conversation that was happening inside the house because we had the windows open, letting the breeze flow through and and just reminiscing. So my auntie is trying to make me understand who the new wife is that my uncle done married or finna marry. And the way she gave it to me was that, the one we got in I'm going to say a tussle with when we fell inside the closet. And I said, oh, and we kind of like, talked about it a little bit. Well, the one standing outside the window, they took the conversation. Not that they went to her dad and told her dad, which was my uncle. They went to his wife and told his new wife what we were around there saying. And it wasn't nothing malicious or anything. It was the truth about what had happened. So, of course, it started a little bit of something, but sometimes people have bad timing. Well, after the ex and the daughter started up a whole bunch of mess, I guess they thought it was going to stay quiet, but it didn't stay quiet. It got back because now my uncle is asking questions. But nobody said anything to me. But they wait right until we get to go to view to go and view my aunt's body. And I get asked a question about, am I the person that was inside the house talking? And I'm going to be honest. Yes, my flesh was in full effect. And looking back on it today, it was not that serious, but my response to it was, man, don't play with me. You know who I am. And she was just like, oh yeah, I know who you is. I know you is. And then like my cousin tapped me on the shoulder like to remind me, like calm down or whatever. At that point, it had already got back to me. And so it turned into this big old thing that everybody keep on talking about or whatever. And it wasn't even like that. But anyways, I tell that part of the story because today I was looking through some of my aunt's old pictures that passed away. And it reminded me today that because it was had floated around in the background for so long, and several people started coming back and telling me what was happening in the background. I just we have a family group. So I went to the family group and I just put in the group. Um, I see y'all still the same messy MFers you was as you are right now. You was messy then and you're messy now. Now, I'm going to tell you where the other thing come from because the same ex-wife and daughter that came over there. And remember, if this is my uncle, then we calling her, she's auntie too, right? I still don't change that. It still don't change that I love them or whatever, but the truth is the truth. It reminded me, and see, this is where you talk about when you say children should stay in children's place. I tried to stay there. I tried to stay in a child's place, but I can't deny what I heard. I can't deny what I heard. Hmm. I heard my mama one time say, they live next door. And I'm going to tell you who the conversation was between that married man and my mama was sitting in the room and they was talking to each other. And I heard him say to my mama that y'all auntie that live next door to us told my wife that it was you that I was messing with. Now I heard my mama say that. She wasn't talking to me, but I heard the conversation. So I say, But again, they supposed to be family over here. But you went over there and said that. And I don't remember nobody coming to my mama or nothing and saying, well, you shouldn't be doing this or doing that. And I don't know if it was out of respect that those people made sure that no children were around when they were saying those things to her. But I don't remember those conversations when hearing somebody tell her that she shouldn't do it. I ain't saying it didn't happen. I just didn't hear them. But as I think about this conversation, my mind is so sharp, and I'm not saying no names, but it's because somebody's been asking questions and they asking the questions to the wrong people when they were the wrong age. I'm going to answer all the questions that you have. So here it is. I remember when you lived in Quail, run in Vero Beach. Yep, my mama used to drive down y'all road and she used to toot that horn. That was cold. For your man to come outside. I ain't saying it's right, but that's what was happening. Ride down that street, go around on the next street, and there was a little, about halfway down that road, there was a little bitty tiny cul-de-sac that you could turn up in, but no, there was no house or no nothing. But we can clearly see your apartment through that little opening right there. And after a while, we sit there with the lights turned off and wait for that man to come through the bushes and get in the car with my mama. Mm-hmm. I remembered all of that because I seen a picture. That's how it worked out until he got the guts to start driving his car. When my mama got kicked out of the apartment, the house that we had moved in was a little bit more private over there. So he started to get bold, real bold. Hmm. I waited a long time. A long time. I remember when I first wanted to speak, I started to try to write it on a piece of paper. I started to type it on the computer. Every time I thought I was going to type it, write it, scream it to the top of my lungs. This been spinning in my head for 20 years plus in the making. Mm. But I did it in my honest opinion as order. She has adult children. All of them are adults. I had to sit through and wait and do everything. So respectful. I didn't have to, but that's what I was taught. And even with my mama's kids, I remain so respectful towards her. I absolutely did. I remained so respectful. But I heard somebody say one time before, nice don't get you nowhere. And oh my God, I never know that there is a respectful way. Mm-mm-mm. There were no respectful ways for the things that I wanted to say to her at this point. But I had to remain respectful because she had my siblings in the hand. But I watched and I always taught them to be respectful in anything that was said, that seemed that was out of the way. I always told the kids, yeah, maybe that's not right what she said, but I can understand why she said. Imagine me saying all of that. This is what I'm teaching my sisters and brothers. Imagine her saying that. And she angry, but she taking it out on the wrong person. That's what I keep having to tell them over and over and over again. So I feel like I done held on to everything that I know for so long. And now we gonna talk. We gonna talk. I know them people done spread that word by now. Shauna on that computer running her mouth. Mm-hmm. Yep. Did y'all see that picture that I put up today? Did anybody guess which one of those were my mother? Because remember, that's the group where she met him at. But anywho, we gonna chat. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I just wanted to come on and drop that piece of the story, and we gonna continue on to where we usually go. Cause I came on late tonight. But let me go back in the chat and say hello to everybody. And I appreciate every single one of you all for tuning in tonight. Every single one of you all. Hey, Spiritual, Angela, Charlie. Hey, girl. um. Yay. Mm. Hey, Jennifer. hmm. Um, was he Jennifer? I don't know. J Mac, hey. I am going to sleep well. Is she in the white t-shirt? Is she in the white shirt? She absolutely is in the white shirt. That is my mom. In the white shirt. That is her. um I seen all the other people that was guessing on there, but I knew that I was gonna give it up in the chat tonight. Yes, the one in the white blouse on the one on the left hand side in the white shirt. That's my mom. Yes. That was gonna be my second guess. Oh, Charlie, you guessed it wrong, girl. Which one you said it was, Charlie? Yeah, that's my mom. She was the I don't want to get that part of it wrong, but as much as I know, she was the lead singer in there. Maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but she led a lot of the songs. So um I ain't going, I'm not 100 on that. I was a kid then. um that that was gonna be my second guess by Jennifer. She's pretty. Thank you. I thought it was the one on the red skirt. Yeah, no, her I don't know if I'm pretty sure that I can tell the names of the people that was in the group. There's only one person that's in that picture that I don't know who their name is. There's only one. Everybody else in that picture, I know their first and last name. Every single one of them. Almost almost every last one of them last name, but I know all of them by their first name. Very familiar with all of them. And also a part of that group was one of the guys what I made the video about exposing myself when I exposing I forget the name of the video. Well, there's a few of them, but it's one of it's a sadder video, but it's exposing the truth or something. I need to stop guessing and just find out the name of it. But the guy that I talked about in their name that was TD um was also a part of that group at another time, but he was not in that photo. But yeah, yeah, Kelly, you came in at a little late tonight, but how you doing tonight? I thank you for always trying to catch up to me. But yeah, you will be able to go back and see the story later. It just like kind of rewind it just a little bit because I had a deeper thought today. But yeah, but right now everybody was absent. uh Jennifer, you don't know which one who it is, but okay. Yeah. Um, I'm not naming. I'm not naming. Anybody who is who in that picture. If somebody figure it out, that's somebody's business. But yeah, people got questions. Let the adults that was in the situation answer because as soon as I ain't gonna get into the other part of the story because I was gonna tell another part of the story. I can tell y'all there's a part where my sister ended up getting pregnant. And my husband said, "Oh no." So we gonna talk about it. um, Kelly, I was just saying prior to you coming in that I've tried to. I've got I don't know how many years of journals that I've written. Um, I've sat down and tried to write it on a piece of paper. I've tried to type it on the computer, and every time I'll get like maybe 100 pages in, and I can't never get it out. But and two, what I've also realized is that when people ask questions about something, it's like some things I don't know, but when sometimes questions um prompt you to remember things. And I was also thinking today, yeah, I'm telling a lot of the things that happened, but you have to know too that everything wasn't bad because there were some things that he introduced us to, but um there were some fun times, but things that were fun to you when you were a kid that you thought was funny, when you become an adult and you become a parent, you realize those things weren't as funny as you thought they was. They was actually weird and creepy. So those weird and creepy things trump all of the funny laughs and all of that. All of that kind of stuff. Because um yeah, when kids are kids, and I'll be like, I still be in like protection mode on certain things because these were innocent kids that's talking to me as they're there with them. They're talking to me like, whatever. Just kids shooting the breeze. Sometimes kids will say things, that make you think, and you're like, oh, okay, then. And then you just let them keep having a regular conversation. You just ask them normal things that go along with the questions. And I still feel like I'm protecting my brother and sister them now, even though they grown adults. And it's like, but I guess that's the mama in me. So, but as I work through that situation, because I told them, I want to tell my story. I'm not trying to destroy no brother sister relationships, but they've gotten a chance to tell their story, and the stories that they've been telling my sisters and brothers is not the truth. And you can choose not to believe my truth and believe they truth. And I don't mind if it be somewhere in the middle, like they always say. The truth is somewhere in the middle. And let it be what it gonna be. I don't got no argument, because it ain't gonna change my story. Period. Not gonna change it. So yes, I have tried to get it out on paper. And I just I always get sidetracked with something every single time. So it's just like that moment came of where I feel like I would just had a piece of tape over my mouth. And it's just like I felt like if I talked to one other person, that I was just going to um And I'm trying to be politically correct on here, but you don't know what you can say. I would just, if you understand what I'm saying, go to sleep and not wake up. Um, and after staying quiet for so long and considering everybody else, um, I feel like you ever do waxing and that tape gets snatched off and then you need to scream or the wax gets snatched off and you just need to holler or something. I feel like that's what happened. And when the tape got snatched off, it was like I couldn't hold it in no matter how hard I wanted to. I thought it was just going to be, let me come on here and do my little Mary gardening and everything. And it turned into everything but that. I wanted to be all peaches and cream. But I'm moving in whatever way I feel God is moving me. Nobody else don't have to agree with where I'm going and what I'm doing. And nobody knows the reason behind me doing it. And if you don't know, I prefer that you ask me and not tell me why I'm doing what I'm doing. I think everybody that done listened to me speak in any live that I've done, I'm not a disrespectful person. I'm not rude to anybody. And nor is that my goal with this. Mm. That's not my goal. My goal is to make somebody understand that this is a turmoil that is created when this kind of stuff happens. And I'm very strong on if somebody can tell a lie on you, you're allowed to tell the truth. So I done sat back and listened to the lies long enough. And so I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. Very true. I have a question. What's the age difference between you and your younger siblings? All of my younger siblings, I am almost 10 years older than every I'm almost 10 years older than the oldest one. So mm, my brother and sister, I'm 15, 17 years older than they are. So I'm a lot older than they are. But these are also the siblings, and a lot of people don't understand some of this a lot of the story because they haven't gone back to see all of my shorts and all of my videos and everything. There's information for it all, but little bit by little bit I'm putting it into the story so that you can kind of see how things happen. But these same three kids that my mom passed away leaving behind are the same three children that she was having, and I was being gifted the responsibility because um I don't toot my horn because I love everything about my sister and brothers and them. And the things that I don't like, I tell them that I don't like, and we talk about it and we get over. But I love them. Um, so the last thing I would do to hurt is try to do anything to hurt them. So, you know, my mind is going 5,000. Because I told y'all once a question gets asked, then Lord Jesus, my mind is um mine goes all over the place. Please tell us your experience. You can't be, but and another thing too, my sister been trying to get me to write a book, and I told her I don't have the time to sit down and I am so busy, and then the moments, and I can make myself unbusy, but that's a hard thing to do when you've been doing it for as long as I've been doing it. Yeah. You feel like you get stiff and stuff when you sit down and just be still or something. You can't be too hard on yourself when you realize the weird activity occurred. Yep. And there was, I mean, can you imagine mm, this man, we sitting in a setting, and I may bring this up on another time, but we're sitting in, I don't even remember where we at, but we sitting in front of somebody's house I know. And we inside, he had a van that had like a bed in the back of the van. So from time to time, me and my brother thought that was fun that we get to ride inside his van, and he used to have these what you call it, like the truck drivers get on and they talk on the CB. We used to get to talk on that right there, listen to the truck drivers and all that stuff. We thought that was fun. But we sitting in there one night, and wherever we was at this moment, I had just had my first baby. I turned 15 in August, the beginning of August, and I had my baby the beginning of September. So basically I was a 14-year-old that just turned 15. Um and he's sitting in the car telling me in front of my mom, I can tell you how to keep a man with using vinegar. And my mama turned around and looked at him and yelled at him, and she said, "Don't be talking to her like that. Just because she done had a baby, that don't make her grown." At that moment, I didn't even understand what he was saying, right? Because I'm 14 15, I hadn't even associated it with, you know, those vajayjay things that people clean themselves with. What's understood don't need to be explained. Um, I didn't even associate the two of them together, but thinking about it now, and as I think about these things, is I'm looking at my children at the age of all of this stuff that was happening to me. And all of this stuff was making me sick on my stomach. And every situation, and people be asking me all the time, have I ever been through therapy? No, I ain't never been to therapy before. But I'm gonna tell you what would happen to me. Is this one time I'll be in the room, I'll be beating up on myself. And the first thing it'll start with is how old I was when that happened to me. And it was always when those things happened, it was like at that moment, God would send one of my children in the room that was the same age that I was when that stuff was happening to me. And I can remember my daughter standing in front of me with that cute little button nose with her head turned to the side. She was 6. And 6 was the time that I was thinking about that the man did what he did to me, and my mama brought me home, and he brought me back home, and my mama whooped me. And then the same man came up to my mama's funeral and then came to her house after and gave me a hug. And I went home and that played over and over and over in my head, calling my name, myself, every name in the book. And my daughter came to my bedroom door. God said, look at your 6-year-old baby. You mean to tell me she can do something with somebody that many years older than you? And that was the day that I was able to tell myself it wasn't my fault. And I couldn't have did anything about it. I was a kid. And that's not to say people don't need to go to therapy. I just ain't never been there before. I ain't never went and sat on nobody's couch, but I done been and sat on somebody's couch, if you understand what I mean. See, I done went into a whole nother story just sitting here reading through the chat, just making me think about things, when I say that I'm full, I am full. Um Very true. I have a question. What's the age difference? Okay, I answered that. Your book would sell. So many of us have similar stories and never tell us, so I admire you. I mean, I never imagined being on a platform like this and talking to anybody. I remember the first time that I wrote, and I still have it. The first time I asked, and this is a church that I went and visited a couple of times, but it was right there in the neighborhood. When I say we had everything right there, close knit and everything is like, I went there and visited now and then, but I asked, can we use the annex, like to have like a little meeting, for the girls up in the church, and it was just the girls that I wanted to talk to just in case. and whenever I wanted to do something like this or whatever, it was like always God had put perfect people in the perfect place at the right time. And I keep trying to avoid this right here, but I have been CPS has been called on me 152 times. um Multiple police reports, and through them all, um and I'm not bragging about that because that's something that does not feel good. It didn't feel good. But I'm telling you, you want to work your muscles on the force field, that will work you. And I thank God for all the changes, all the help that came through that way. Um, and I can say I wouldn't know the things that I know had had those things not happen. And because I went through the stuff that I went through, I met some of the greatest people. um that and this happened so long ago that to this day, me and some of the people, you want to know about your enemies becoming your footstool? Honey, please. There's times, in the beginning when CPS come, they don't really have nothing, but they come there, and especially if they come off the basis of children, they come in when they can't find anything wrong. And they keep having to come there. Eventually, somebody gets angry that they have to keep showing up there. So after a while, they kept going off on me, and every time they came there, I would end up crying every time. Every time. My husband was standing his ground every time. Every time, to the point that even I was scared. But I tell you, those same people, there's times when the police officer and the CPS worker was getting ready to fight each other. One's supposed to be protecting the other, and they fighting each other. But y'all see, y'all get to talking, and it's just like everything just started flowing out. And I don't know who that's for tonight, but those people were the same people who supported me. They called in extra people to make sure that the girls that were there listening to the stories that I had to tell, that they had support. She brought counselors along with her. And I mean, my first talk in front of a group of girls, to tell my story. Um, and I might read what I read to those girls, on that day, and I wanted them to feel like they didn't have to be embarrassed to have boys in there, to be able to talk about somewhere they wanted to go off to the side and talk to, you know, yeah. So, see y'all how I get off into this chat, and then I'm in La La Land. Callie, that's you doing that. Gotta get it out. No suffering in silence. Amen to that. Thank you again, Charlie. Thank you so much. Um, this is kind of your book, in my opinion. I said that too. When I said to my sister, I don't have the patience to sit down in front of somebody. I especially don't want to write it myself. I'm just being honest. I wouldn't want to write it my own self, but if I could do like if my sister said I am recording my book right now as while I do this right here, but um and shout out to my sister. I mean, Veterans Day was the other day. Shout out to her and VS. Both of them, I know they're veterans. But if y'all ain't seen my short of my sister, we standing inside the Walmart. We standing up in the front of the register, and she in there looking at this video. I don't know how the video was able to line up with what she was dancing to, but it was so funny because I added the music to the song. She was looking at a video of this boy dancing to that song, and she was trying to do the moves. And the store, y'all know how Walmart is, got lines from here to yonder. And she in front of the store dancing like that. But I am so proud of her. Chief Warrant Officer. Yes, I am. Dixon Carter. Yes, I am very proud of my sister. Um, put all your journals in date order. Oh, they are dated. I mean, when I say dated, Callie, they have every day whenever I write a what you call it, whatever I wrote, when I write something in the journal, I write a date above it about everything. I don't give a dang if I just say it in my journal on one day, I had a good day. I had a good day on this day. Uh that would be all I wrote in. Yeah. um I wrote it. So but I put all the dates. Mhm. Um yeah, but you know what? I'm so I hate, you know what, one thing, and this may just be me making up excuses, cuz sometimes I do that when I don't really want to do something. But I still have the conversation. But once my sister say you have to read it, and then you have to see what they say. I'm telling you, I'll be so picky, because as soon as they change something other than what I said, me and the publicist, we'll be arguing, because I don't like my words to be changed. I don't like for something to be changed for like a story's sake or whatever, to make something sound better, or sound more exciting than what it was. Hell, my life was too exciting as it was. Um yeah, it was exciting enough. I don't need anything changed or downplayed about what happened. Ain't nothing you could have done, and you should have never had to go through those things as a kid. I agree, Charlie. My birthday in August too. All right, spiritual. I know that's right. I want to hug you, and I am not even that affectionate. You know what, spiritual? I'm not an affectionate person either like that, because I didn't get affection like that when I was a kid. And if you have kids, do you know how hard it is to push yourself to do that when it wasn't given to you. But I can tell you this, the more you practice it, even when it don't feel good, the more you practice it, the better it get. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. It's almost like, what is normal? What is normal, you know? Yep. I'm a hug baby too. um, I agree. All bad things can bring good things. Absolute, Charlie. You just that right there. That's what I was just thinking in my head. I agree. All bad things can bring good things. All bad experiences also teach us and make us stronger and more resilient. Absolutely. So where I'm telling my story about everything is like all of those things make me grateful that I'm the people that I run into and the conversations that have to be had. I've been through a lot of the things that people come and talk to me about. So, was it a sad thing to go through? It absolutely was. But I'm also grateful that I'm able to help somebody else that's going through it and can't handle it the same way that I was able to. My mama's family did that to my mom because they couldn't control her no more. They tried to hurt her through us, but it didn't work. Yeah, it normally goes like that when they try when they be trying to hurt you. You know, it don't what don't kill you make you stronger. I put sorry, I didn't mean that. YouTube. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take you back. No, Kelly, and that's not a bad thing. For me to go back, I don't want you. Don't have to apologize for that. I actually, cause to me, it's like purging it out. To be able to say it's not a bad thing for me is like, and some things is like give me like good memories too. Yeah. So, that ain't no bad thing. You took me down. Sometimes you go down memory lane. Some things are good and some things are bad. Yes, salute to all the veterans. I absolutely appreciate them, pray for them and everything. There's a lot going on in the world. I try not to too much watch that stuff to, you know, not let it get up under my skin because I have some very, very important people um in there. So I know what it feels like to have family to go over there and fight for this country. Utmost respect to those. Salute to the veterans. I cried one day when I realized I was fighting through to give affection to my son. Oh, no, spiritual. I 100% legit. 100% legit. Um, and I can tell you another thing. that when you have a break from it, I'll tell you that that thing that came through that had all of us wearing masks and everything, your kids went to school, and you was trying to make sure you know everything was right. So it's like, don't do all that, go straight and take your shower and all of this kind of stuff. And you kind of get away from doing all of that extra stuff. And it's like we strayed away from it for a little while, and it's like then when you get ready to go back to it, there's like a hesitation. So um yeah, it is when you don't get affection when you are a kid, it's you have to learn how to do it when you have kids. And it start, when and there comes a point when these little kids come along and they see other kids and it's like, no, mom, don't give me no hug in front of them. Don't do this and don't do that. So, you kind of like give your kids a little bit of respect or whatever. And then, I only had one. I only had one. One of my sons was just like he ain't care what nobody else say. Ain't nobody gonna tell me to stop giving my mom no hug and no kiss. But the rest of them was like, mom, we too big for that right there. The only time they want to give you a hug and a kiss is when they been gone for a long time, or come home and other than that, it's just like, okay, mom, love you, see you later. But yeah, it is that's just that's real spiritual. That's part of his purpose, to remind you to keep making room for love and memories. Absolutely. I mean, even talking about what I had went on to Facebook and looking on the Facebook group, it reminded me, because I mean my family got so many pictures and everything up there, and all of them, I mean, like, just to know that these pictures are like genuine, like we sitting there laughing and talking with everybody. And it's also good to look back at those pictures and be like, girl, you was super duper. And I ain't like I'm super duper small right now, but I look at those pictures and I was just like, oh Lord, I didn't even have a neck. This necklace that I have on my neck right now is people this necklace used to be up around my neck. It's like I couldn't even see the necklace. And now it's like I can just look down and I can see the necklace. But like, yeah, I had a good time going back and looking over those. But since this is the story that I was on right now, I was like, oh my goodness, another piece just like fell right into there, because that message that I put was on there, and it was I said to her, yeah, you the same messy MF as you was back when you released that. So, so it took me down memory lane. So all wasn't bad when I went on there, and it was good to look at my auntie and see how, how they was treated and everything before we left here, to see my auntie. Like one, because I had two aunts that passed, and both of them, I was able to see smile. The other aunt, she was on video. I can see her smiling and everything. But the other aunt, left me with a great memory of when she was last over here at my house and she was leaving, and I sent her home with a sweet potato pie. But she said me and her daughter talk too much. So, auntie had a spoon in her purse. And cause she say her daughter was taking too long running her mouth in the house with me and had them sitting in the car waiting, she took that spoon out and started digging in that sweet potato pie and eating it um with that spoon. Her daughter came again and said, now ma, this don't make no sense that you doing that. I told the child, don't bother with auntie. Just let her have that pie, get another one, and take it on home with you. But I think life makes us who we are, good, bad, and indifferent. Absolutely, Charlie. Life does make us who we are, good, bad, or indifferent. But if it's bad, are you willing to hear somebody say to you that it's bad? Sometimes I fight when somebody tell me something that ain't good. Sometimes my first response is to especially when I want to do what I want to do. But I'm telling you, when I tell you, when God has certain people strategically placed in my life, is like the things that I want to. And I'm not a person that, like, if somebody tell me something wrong that I do, I'm the kind of person I think it over and over and over and over again. Um, I don't always want to be right, but I want to be right. If that makes sense. I don't know. That's my thinking. But it is what it is. Hey, Miss Testimony, how you doing tonight? I thank you all for um sitting around chilling with me for tonight. And I'm going to get ready to end it. And I tried not to keep y'all up too late tonight, but this time right here worked better for me. You know, I was able to put my kids, you know, good night, y'all, love y'all and all of that good stuff, instead of trying to rush through doing something, and then, getting back to them. So this time worked better for me to, jump on through the middle of the week. And I hope it didn't mess up anybody's sleep pattern or anything. And I wish you all great sleep, um, wishes, prayers, and all of that. And try not to break yourself too bad in this Christmas holidays. You got other days that you need to live through. Um, and nobody's going to pass away if they don't get things. Um, just yeah. I don't know who that's for, but I try. Thank you all very much again for joining. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you already haven't. Then, yeah, when I say share, somebody else who you might think need to hear the story, don't, share it with them. I greatly appreciate that. That helps me out you know. But good night to y'all good folks up in here, and thank you all for all of your questions that you asked tonight, because y'all helped me keep the live going tonight. I cannot deny. I would have told my story and then got off, but I appreciated talking to you good people tonight. Many hugs to you all tonight, and see you all next time. Oh, and over here we are the high class gardeners. One day we gonna get back to gardening. But one day I'm gonna show y'all my greens. They look pretty back there. So but we gonna get back to that. But over here we are the high class gardeners, over here where we grow food. If you're not growing you some fruit, grow you something. I don't care if you put you some sweet potato slips in the ground so you can have some kind of potatoes or something. You're gonna need it. Grow what you can. But over here we grow food. I'm a high class gardener because if I see any bugs or any worms, I ain't touching none of that, and I ain't putting no spray on it. But my husband will come and handle the bugs and everything. So that certifies me as a high class gardener. All right, y'all. Until next time, y'all be good. And Jennifer, you might be right. Good night.